Mike Tomlin has been one of the best defensive minds in the National Football League for almost 2 decades now. So what about his defensive scheme makes it so successful, and why has he been able to get success with a bunch of different players that have come and gone in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization? Today we're going to answer that question today by breaking down the bread and butter and his favorite schemes to run in his defense today. But make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you love Coach Tomlin, you think he's one of the best coaches in the National Football League today, I certainly feel that way. If you agree with me, make sure you kick off today's show by clicking that thumbs up icon. So let's start with Tomlin's resume here. And in 17 years as the Steelers head coach, 11 of those seasons, he had a top 10 defense. All right, that's more than half. It's quite a bit more than half of the seasons he's been here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The defense has been top 10 in the league. That is unbelievable. The only other defensive coach in history that really can even match that percentage is Bill Belichick with the New England Patriots, who's the greatest head coach in the history of the sport. You take a look at his profile here. The tree that he comes from is aggressive 3-4. We'll talk a little bit more about what that means here in a second. His influences come from Monty Kiffin and Tony Dungy back when he was an assistant with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the early 2000s when they ran the Tampa 2. Nick Saban, former head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and then, of course, his former defensive coordinator, Dick LeBeau. Tomlin has also been proven, this defense and this scheme that he likes to run has been proven to work with a number of different personnel groupings here with the Pittsburgh Steelers over a 17-year period as the head coach of the Black and Gold. So a little bit of a fair warning here. Yes, Terrell Austin does call the plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. And Tomlin has really never called defensive plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? He always gives it to his defensive coordinator. But make no mistake, guys, Tomlin is definitely the one coming up with the defensive game plans. He is very much involved in meetings every single week as well. He is the mastermind behind this defense, and he just delegates the play calling duties to an individual, his defensive coordinator. So let me know down there in the comments section before we really dive into the nitty gritty here. Is Mike Tomlin a top 5 defensive mind in football today? All right, that's a pretty high standard. Top 5 in the game. Give me a yes or a no to let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question with a yes or no. All right, man, so let's dive into the fun stuff here. And the first thing that you need to understand about the Mike Tomlin defense, and really any defense in the National Football League, is that every defense runs pretty much the same coverages. They have all the coverages that you could ever think of in their playbook. It's just that different coaches have different preferences as to what calls to make in certain situations. So today we're going to be talking about what Tomlin likes to do, okay? And I really do think that he has really cultivated a style that is his own. It's relatively unique, and it is very, very effective, shown by his record like we talked about earlier. So on first down, he likes to go to, especially when on 3-by-1 formation, so 3 receivers on one side to 2 receivers on the other side, or 1 receiver on the other side. He likes to go to a Saban concept called cover 3 Buzz Mabel. And this is a very common coverage in the National Football League, particularly on early downs. So the photo credit here goes to Brett Coleman, who is another YouTuber here on the platform who does a fantastic job. I think this is a really good representation of the responsibilities of cover 3 Buzz Mabel. So you see the cornerback on the outside. That's Joey Porter Jr. for the Steelers defense. That is the man everywhere he goes corner. Okay, so pretty much no matter where that Z receiver goes, he's covering him all the way over, all right? It doesn't matter if he runs a drag, a go, whatever. That cornerback is responsible for press coverage on that receiver one-on-one. And what that allows the rest of the defense to do here is essentially play cover 3 on the far end there, okay? So on the other end, that's going to be Dante Jackson, who's going to be playing bail technique as the outside corner, the number 2 corner. You get the nickel, that's going to be probably Beanie Bishop Jr., and then the strong safety, which is going to be Deshaun Elliott, is going to be buzzing down into the seam flat there to cover that side, okay, with the 2 receivers. Then you see the wide tight end there running a crosser. The Mike linebacker is responsible for him. That's going to be Patrick Queen. That's why it's important to have a really good Mike linebacker in this scheme. And then the Will, that's going to be Landon Roberts, is going to be responsible for the back if they do a passing concept. What this allows the defense to do, guys, is have a one-on-one coverage here, erase a receiver off the field, rotate a coverage, Take care of crossers. It's very, very difficult to pass against this coverage if you have the personnel to do it right, and usually the Steelers do. So that's why they go to it on first down. So coming up here on today's edition of Steelers Talk, I'm going to be going over Tomlin's favorites on second and third down. I've already told you what he likes to go on first down, likes to go to that cover 3 look on first downs to get that safety down into the box and guard against the run. But coming up here, second and third down, but before we get into that, go ahead and get yourself an awesome t-shirt, a throwback t-shirt from our friends at Fanatics when you go to chatsports.com/throwback. The Steelers tend to play a very old school style of defense with Mike Tomlin. You can get an old school logo here on your next Steelers t-shirt to wear on Steelers game days this year. You get a great price from our friends at Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/throwback. If you use that link and you make a purchase, Fanatics is going to send us part of the proceeds. So I really greatly appreciate your support. So on second down, especially if they can stuff the run on first, okay, and it's a second and relatively long situation, Mike Tomlin likes to go to a Tampa 2 look. Now, a lot of you guys, if you've played Madden, you guys know what Tampa 2 is, right? You got 2 high safeties. You got the Mike linebacker running to kind of in between the 2 deep safeties and kind of the intermediate there in the middle of the defense, and then you've got 4 underneath defenders. So something like this here, okay? And Tampa 2 is a lot like cover 3, all right? You still got pretty much 3 deep defenders, but the reason why Tampa 2 is better in obvious passing situations is because of the leverage. In cover 3, the corners have outside leverage, so they're very susceptible to in-breaking digs over the middle of the field. However, with Tampa 2, the Mike linebacker can identify those crossing routes over the middle of the field because he is dropping back, and the safeties are playing with inside leverage, so if they try to hit that hole shot, they can blow it up. So it's like cover 3, only it's much more effective against some of the zone-beating concepts that a lot of offenses run in the NFL today. Then we get to third down here, and if it's a third and long situation, third and even medium, Tomlin loves to go to the blitz on third down. He always has, and he likely always will. As long as he's got guys that can really get after the quarterback, he's always going to want to cause confusion for opposing offenses by blitzing them. Now, a very classic Dick LeBeau style of blitz that he likes to run is this dog blitz, and that's what it's called. It's called dog, and essentially what that is, and most of you guys know, the Steelers have 5 down linemen, 2 outside linebackers, a defensive end, a defensive tackle, and a nose tackle. Pretty much what a dog blitz is you simply rush all 5 players at the line of scrimmage. And what that does is it creates one-on-one opportunities for your pass rushers, okay? That's what it does. It creates one-on-one opportunities for guys like TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward, all right? If you've got all 5 guys going at the quarterback and there's only 5 offensive linemen to protect, that gives them one-on-one opportunities and they can get quick pressure. Another one of Tomlin's favorite zone blitzes that he got from Dick LeBeau is called Bronco, okay? And what this essentially is he brings out one of his edge rushers into coverage. He brings the Mike linebacker on a blitz, and he also brings a slot corner on a blitz as well. He has the strong safety come down in a Bronco coverage, and it's also called a Bronco when the edge rusher goes out as well. So this is a 3-3 fire zone blitz where you send 5 people, and it's very effective. Tomlin's been doing this 4 years where he gets one-on-one opportunities for TJ Watt on stunts, all that great stuff, and it's really, really effective in getting to quarterbacks quickly. Plus, with the strong safety coming down and the edge coming back out, you can get some really nice interception opportunities as well. But what he loves to do, and we know how pass-heavy the NFL has become today, right? Lots of 3 receiver sets. So to counter that, Mike Tomlin came up with this wrinkle in the early 2010s, and it's called contain. And essentially what that is you have 4 down linemen in your nickel sets, and then you blitz your slot cornerback. So back in the day, this was Mike Hilton, if you remember him. He blitzed all the time, so you'd have pretty much 5 people still attacking the quarterback, still get those one-on-one opportunities, and if you forget about the nickel corner, he's going to blow up the quarterback for an easy sack, all right? So this is definitely another one that works as well. You really hope that guys like Beanie Bishop Jr., Cam Sutton, Graylin Arnold are able to be effective blitzers so that Tomlin can go to this call in crucial third down situations. And the reason why blitzing, and specifically fire zone blitzing, works so well for the Pittsburgh Steelers is because it creates confusion, it creates a lot of pressure and quickly, and it forces sacks, incompletions, and turnovers, which of course is what makes an NFL defense go. It gets the offense the football back. It creates easy opportunities on turnovers as well. And there's just a reason why this stuff works and why Tomlin has been able to cultivate such a great defensive culture throughout his career as a defensive mind. So listen, man, I'm looking at this team right now, and I think in terms of the personnel, the Steelers have the best roster that they have had in years. You have TJ Watt healthy. Cam Hayward is back healthy. Alex Highsmith is here. Keanu Benton looks like he's going to be a breakout star this year. You signed Patrick Queen to be that Tampa 2 guy that's going to be erasing crossers and all this stuff. That's absolutely fantastic. Minka is still here. Joey Porter Jr. is that Meg cornerback that's going into his second year. He looks primed for a great year. This is the best defensive roster we have had in the Steel City in a long time. And if everybody can stay healthy, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a top 5 defense in the National Football League this year. But let me know if you agree with me. Fill in the blank. The Pittsburgh Steelers will have a top blank defense in the National Football League this year. Let me know what you guys think. I mean, Tomlin's had a top 10 defense 11 times in the first 17 years here, so that's a pretty darn good track record. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Like I said, my prediction is top 5. I think they could go as high as the best defense in football with all the great personnel they have at their disposal. Obviously, you need to stay healthy if you're the Steelers this year, but they can pretty much go and be as good as their health allows them to be this year. If you love nerdy videos like this one, guys, we also did an offensive scheme breakdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers, breaking down Arthur Smith's scheme on the show a couple of weeks ago. If you want to check out that video, I'm going to ping that to today's video, both in the comments and description of today's show. That one's a really good one. I highly recommend it. And make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to learn more about the game of football and you want to learn more about the Pittsburgh Steelers specifically, right here on YouTube. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.